Now I have two questions, one addressed to Mr. Myers and one to Ms. Cordi, and they're actually from two different people, but they both have to do with defense spending. So I'm going to read each question and let each of you answer either the question that's addressed to you, or you can answer both questions, but you're going to have 1.5 minutes to do both things. So let's see, we would start with Peter Myers, so I'm going to ask the question of you first, and then I will ask the other question, and then you two can decide how you're going to answer. Okay, so to you, it's what would you propose doing with the $200 to $400 billion I think you said you would cut the Department of Defense budget by that much. What would you propose doing with that? And to Ms. Cordi, how do you rationalize defense spending? So we're going to start with Mr. Myers, and you can answer either question or both.
The question of what do you do when you cut the military budget in half? You save it. The urge in the two-party system and in America in general is, oh, well, I've cut this budget in half. Let's spend that same money on something else. You need to save. We need to save that money. Now, a lot of people will say, if you cut the military budget in half, everyone's going to be out to get us. It's important to realize that the UK, China, Russia, and France are the next 4 top-funded militaries. You add all of those together, and with my proposed budget for the military, $291 billion, we would still be spending more than all those 4 countries combined. Now, I don't know if anyone here plans on going to war with the UK, France, China, and Russia all at the same time, but I feel that we would probably be covered in that situation. By cutting the military budget, this forces our generals and of the Pentagon to actually look at what our priorities are for national defense. It means defending our own borders. It means protecting the allies that we find the most important. But it does not mean that we go into oil-rich countries, help the dictators that are being propped up, or the Saudi royal family. It does not mean that we prop those up. It means that we look at what we actually need and we control our interests in those oil-rich nations.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Cordi?
Well, defense spending is not just bullets. I would make the point in terms of oil that since 1973, Congress has kicked the issue of foreign oil supplies down, literally kicked the can down the road. We will spend more this year overseas acquiring oil than the 5 years of the Iraqi war have cost us. That should give you a little perspective. But defense spending is a lot of very positive things. Out of defense spending have come a few things important in this valley. The computer, satellite technology that many of us depend on every day for communications and weather and other vital information, GPS, just to name a few. Right now, DARPA is probably the biggest supplier of money for research into bioenergy and into major pieces of I hate that sign, of research into communicable disease. And the military does so much more than just fight wars. I'm going to beg your indulgence for about 1 second, because we need to recognize that what our military does around the world, not only to provide an umbrella for these other countries, is that it provides millions of dollars and hundreds of man-hours of humanitarian relief around the world. Okay. It saves lives every year.
Thank you. I do have to keep people on time. That's my job.